Hey everyone, it is Carl, and today we are actually going to ask, or the whole premise for this one is actually that I am still smarter than AI, and I would venture to get so are you. Um, so over the last few weeks, I've been doing kind of lunch and learn kind of things on social media, and the whole premise was this: I had AI kind of run through Chat GPT to be exact, to come up with some things that people could do. I read an article on CNN, um, and basically it was the gist of the article was that younger workers are having a really hard time finding work in the job market today. And I found it to be a really interesting article because the first part of it was whoever wrote the article. It was a short one to begin with. So if you had a short attention span, great, fantastic. Um, there was a lot of stuff there, but no depth. The other part of it was the way it seemed is like this was like something totally new and stuff like that, which is total BS because I know from my own personal experience, when I got out of college, I came out in the middle of a recession. Um, it was right after the first Gulf War, and I was actually competing with people who had significantly more experience than I did, even though I had a master's degree, and it actually stunted my ability to progress in my career faster than I would have liked. Um, but I asked ChatGPT, I said, "Hey, come up with some ideas, like 10 days worth of stuff, and basically, what it is, the why behind it, and then three things that a person could do." And I thought it was really interesting on some of the things that came up, and some of it was really good. I mean, it couldn't hurt, as long as you just don't get very um, clingy or needy or stuff like that. But I didn't think it was terrible. Like some of the things that were on there, I'll just go through was, you know, from an action standpoint, from an implementation standpoint, request informational interviews, but didn't tell you how. um, Personalized outreach, email decision makers. Um, Not bad. Uh, Again, it's probably low on my totem pole when I was a decision maker. I probably would have handed it off to somebody, but not a bad thing. Engaging with someone's content and send them a personalized connection request. And all the action items and all the things that were there were extremely passive. And the reason why I'm still smarter than AI is because, quite frankly, and quite honestly, as a human being, there are things that I would do that, say, a computer wouldn't, or even have a frame of reference to. The other part of it is it all depends who's programming and who's doing the learning or helping the AI learn, and they may not be able to do that. So I am a person of a certain age. I'll just tell you, I'm Gen X. I'm not a boomer. I'm a Gen Xer. Um, and one of the things that I've noticed is that there are things that I learned as a young Gen Xer that today we don't really do because, well, we think it's like, but the truth is it works. So here's the big revelation for everybody. So I want you, if you are somebody that's a Gen Z or a millennial, Gen Y, or even a Gen Xer like me who's kind of bought into this whole thing about um, applying and then hoping that things will change and then wondering after 300 applications why things aren't moving faster or moving at all. Um, I'm going to give you the big secret. Here we go. So they call this an iPhone. It is not an Instagram. It is not an text. It's an iPhone. And the primary thing with it is that it's a telephone. It's to reach out and call somebody. So, if you are kind of stagnant in your career, if you are trying to apply for jobs and you're not getting anywhere, and all you're getting is "Thank you for applying, we appreciate it," and then you don't hear anything for weeks or months, and then all of a sudden you get an email saying, "We've chosen somebody else. Thank you for applying. Goodbye." Again, what I'm going to advocate for you to do is kind of a little something old school, something that, quite honestly, is not old school to somebody who is a recruiter or a headhunter, because they do this all the time. You just don't know it. And that is to pick up the telephone and call somebody. Now, what's great about the phone and about computers and the internet and stuff that we didn't have when I started out was we have access to information. Who posted it? Who works in human resources? Who works as a recruiter? And then I can pick up the phone and I can get the main number to wherever and get hooked up with them. And the way that it looks is like this. You figure out who might be the recruiter. And if you know who the recruiter is, because you went through LinkedIn and it says, so and so posted this position, reach out and message them. Well, great, message them. Yeah, fantastic. But actually pick up the phone, pick up this lovely device that I spent $1,000 on, called an iPhone. If you've got a Samsung, it'll work the same. I swear to God. Um, and call. And this is how the call goes, and this is how it would progress. Okay, you call up and you say, "Hi, my name is Carl. I just applied for this job, blah, 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 blah. I was wondering if you can take a look to make sure that it got through." That's your first step. Hey, did you get it? Once they go and they say, "Yeah," great. Fantastic. You have 5 minutes. I think I'm a great person for this job, and you need to be prepared for it. You need to know what job you're talking about, but you need to be prepared and you need to outline 3 bullet points that would solve that person's pain. So they got it. Someone is looking at it now because you've cued them into looking at it. And then number three is getting some sort of commitment. And the commitment is this. Yeah, no, this looks really good. Great, fantastic. Do you think this would be, I would be a good candidate for your hiring manager or a good candidate for you? I'd love to be able to come in for an interview. So that's your ask. Now, they may say at that point, well, we're putting things together and you look like a really promising thing. I'll forward your resume on. Great. You got them to take action. Your next words out of your mouth should be great, fantastic. I'll be following up with you in about a week or so, and you know, thank you so much for your time. Be sure to thank them for their time because you are kind of jumping into their space. But here's the thing: if they're recruiters, they're supposed to be talking to people. They're supposed to be interviewing and screening people. And typically, the way this works is this: they get so many darn resumes. And I know this because A, I did the job. B, I ran people or ran a department of recruiters, and they get busy. And because the internet has created a situation, and all these platforms have created a situation where a person may get hundreds of resumes for one opening. So, how do you differentiate yourself? Well, the way you differentiate yourself is you get in front of people. You just don't wait for it to happen. Now, what happens if you call up and you get voicemail? Now, this is for people, I'll just say my brothers-in-law are millennials and they never leave a voicemail or hardly ever leave a voicemail. What you need to do is if you get voicemail, you need to actually leave a voicemail. And the way that goes is this. Hi, my name is Carl Mulbauer. The reason I'm calling is I just submitted my resume for X job. I think I'd be an excellent candidate. Here are three reasons why I think I'd be a great candidate for this. If you can do me a favor, please call me back. My telephone number is XYZ PDQ ABCD. Again, my name is Carl. My number is ABC PDQ 1234. Whatever I said before, whatever it is. Thank you so much. Hope to hear from you soon. Now, the reason why you're giving your name twice and why you're leaving your telephone number is you cannot assume that their system can tell who called when and all that. The other thing is this, they may have heard your name the first time, they don't remember it. Same thing with the telephone number. They may get part of it, but they won't get it the full number the first time. But if you go slow enough and you repeat it, A, gives them a chance to get a pen, a piece of paper, a little post-it note, whatever it is. Carl, da, 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 that's it. You increase your opportunity, your chances of actually getting a call back. Now, again, they may ignore you. That's fine. But at least you know where you stand. The likelihood of this working out is probably low. Why? Because they may have their candidates already. They may be so long in the process that they're not accepting other resumes. They're not accepting those things. So you don't have to keep wondering, what if, maybe, I don't know. You can close that chapter and move on. I will tell you from my experience, if somebody called, left a message, I was more inclined to actually call them back. Why? Because you took the time to actually call me. The other thing is you're showing interest, real interest, not just, hey, I saw it online and I just flipped over my resume. No, I actually showed interest. I called up, I followed up, I did all those things. I did all the things that show to people that I am serious about this position and I'm serious about my ability to do this position. So, my last tip for everyone, and again, the tips there are not bad. They're just more passive. They're just kind of like, eh. But if you pick up the phone and you do a little research, you may actually get a little bit further. Now, here's one pro tip for you. You may end up getting a gatekeeper somewhere along the way. You may call up the main number, ask for a person. They may say something along the lines of, what is this about? And these people who are there have been screened or been taught not to push calls through because, I'm busy. I don't want calls to be pushed through, which is total BS because that's their damn job. So here's the pro tip for you. If you get somebody and you get a gatekeeper, somebody that picks up the phone and says, hi, what is this about? Tell them it's something of a personal nature and that you can't really disclose it. See how fast they push you through because they don't want to get messed up in somebody else's drama. So, with that said, I hope everyone learned a little something from this short little um, call it live stream. And I hope you guys land all the jobs that you need and hope you get unstuck from not finding something. Take care and have a wonderful day.